Let's talk about Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is a Netflix adaptation of the original Karate Kid movie with Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence and the characters in there. The Netflix adaptation of the series is, I would say, 30 years in the future of the original movie. Like, I want to explain to you why Cobra Kai might be better than you think it is. Now, one thing has to be said before all of this. There's like this ancient Greek philosopher who basically, well, back in ancient Greece, they were like the masters of doing theater. So a lot of theater knowledge and theory and what basically has turned and elevated into movies today comes from theory from back then. Now, one of the I would say prime, like one of the main character or main people in this kind of the Greek philosophers or in the ancient Greek playwrights who wrote about it was a guy called Aristotle. Now, just to make it super simple and super like to analyze a really good movie, there's like five simple steps that you have to look for, and like it goes in hierarchical order of importance, right? So basically, as Aristotle said, the first point is characters. If you need to have really good characters, they have to be fundamental. They have to be super well laid out, well thought out, and well characterized. And that's why it's so key to find the right actor to live up to the potential of the character, to show it out, like Candy and Django Unchained with Leonardo DiCaprio doing an absolutely amazing performance there. Now, the second part is called thought, and it's like the theme and the concept of the theater play or the movie or the series that you are working or that you're making, right? Or watching. Now, if the concept is not good, that's like you can take let's say Avatar that came out, James Cameron's Avatar. That was completely amazing. It was a completely amazing concept that was never seen before. And they found the right characters and the right actors to portray the characters with all these, like, it's not just flat 2D characters. They were really like 3D, and you could feel like the impact they had on the viewers, right? When you watched it. Now, and then the concept and the theme of the entire thing is so like mind-blowingly crazy. Like, you didn't expect anything like it. You have no idea of like how impactful it would be. And they played like that movie for like a historically long amount of time in the cinemas because it was so amazing. Now, that's the second point Aristotle talks about. Now, the third point is the diction, the language, the words used, how they speak, which can determine like what era they are from, what the setting, what mood, what kind of like, is it Victorian language? Is it maybe futuristic? So they do some kind of new words, new word combinations, or new kinds of grammar, or is it from like right now today? And are they talking like the Fortnite kids with when they're flaming each other's like take this L and who asked, you know, and all that fucking shit, right? You know, what kind of setting is it in? Where is it located? What, like, so yeah, so basically how they use the language and how great that is, and how effective they are at it. Now, the fourth point is the music, setting the atmosphere, setting the like service towards production. Like, that's the point of it. So you serve the production, you serve like the diction and the thought and the characters. They are all supported by the music. So that's like the fourth one, you know. So if you take Dune, for example, well, the first character, like the main protagonist, he might be a bit of a flat character, but it's okay, you know, because then there's room for him to evolve as a character, right? And as if you've seen the movie, you know, June is like the first half of the first book or something like that. So there's not really much character development. It was more about world building in that movie. But it's more like the music, and like the music is just this facilitator towards the entire world building and the entire narrative that you're trying to create through the thought and the diction and the characters. Yeah. Now the final point that Aristotle talks about then at this point here is the spectacle. Now the spectacle is something America is really known for. That's what they are really good at. Okay, the spectacle is basically the effects, the fireworks, the pow and bang, and the Michael Bay-esque Transformers, everything blows to fire, and you know, all of that stuff, right? Now that's what America thought was the most important part of it. But according to Aristotle, this ancient playwright, who was like the birthfather of modern theater, because like that's one of the few scrolls that survived the fire in I don't remember where. But the spectacle is what America is really good at, and that's what they thought were the most important things. Hence why that's why like the Die Hard movies are not really great with character and thought and diction. It's just like, yeah, I mean, the character is great. I mean, like Bruce Willis is great in the role, right? But it's more like the thought and diction is not really there, and it's more about the spectacle of having this action hero just coming in and just fucking shooting everything. And that's like basically most Marvel movies as well. That's why like The Dark Knight is such an extraordinarily great piece of cinema. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So why Cobra Kai? Why might Cobra Kai be better than you think? Well, one thing that Cobra Kai really does well from the get-go is showcasing at least the first couple of seasons, they are really good at showcasing like the bad communication there is between Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso. Now it might seem a bit weird for us on the outside, for those two to still live like in the same area, like in the valley, right? They are both living there still. They are still like, now they are teachers, and they are just they don't like each other very well, right? Because of the obstacles and the conflicts that were back in the movie, in the original movie, right? Now what's so great about it is like they both want the same thing. They want to teach like the children of the valley to learn karate, to learn defend them for themselves, learn to find balance, and learn what karate really can do. Except for only just fighting, you know, and learning the fighting tricks, but what all the other factors, what it can do for you, and what it can learn you and teach you. So you even get frustrated as a viewer because you don't really understand, like you have a hard time coming in and understanding why it is like this conflict has been going on for so long, like 20, 25 years, 30 years, how long after like the scene is set, right? And that's something you get really frustrated about, because the two characters, they want the same things, like Lawrence and LaRusso. And then there's all of these children involved, right? Or the kids involved, like the young high school kids, right? And they are just, you know, facilitating how, like, doing all this really good that you're seeing a lot in America right now, where it's like all this good versus bad, right? You have this good versus bad all the time. Now that's something the kids started to embrace, where, well, whoever they were for were the good guys, and whoever was in the other one was the bad guys, right? So it was Cobra Kai versus Miyagi-Do in the first couple of seasons, right? And that's a really good take on like you can say like the political landscape in America right now, and that's something that's super interesting to look at. Another thing, and that's like almost the most important thing about this series that makes it so great for me, is like both how they tell the stories of LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence, but also how much of an impact a good mentor or teacher can have on young people, on young impressionable people. And on the later seasons, they really show how bad people and bad mentors also can have a great influence on these kids. And that's such an exceptionally well thought out and well displayed, like, affection that they have. And it's like, that's not a simple thing to do. Like, you often see in other kinds of movies or series where so the influence of a great mentor is something that's so unbelievably important, and it's so important to understand, and the way they portrayed it is just next level. It's not something that I've seen before. Now, I've seen mentors in movies before. I've tried, mentors in real life, role models, whatever that you have, and how sometimes they can disappoint, and how they're not always perfect. Well, in movies they are really good at showing like the perfect side of it, and how, well, if you have to look up to either a bigger sibling or someone, a fictional character, like how they can never do anything wrong, and that you can feel overwhelmed if you're trying to either catch them or please them, and do whatever you can to make them happy, right? Now, what they do so great in Cobra Kai is showing how these role models can fail, but also how you can turn things around when you fail and when you lose like the trust that there is between the different people that you want to. So they do it in where they are senseis, right, and the teachers in like the karate dojos, and even if they fuck up several times, they understand that they fuck up. They understand how to apologize and how to win back the trust that they lost. Now, that's not something you rarely see in this kinds of series, but I would strongly suggest that you watch it for yourselves. I can definitely say from the beginning, like the first couple of seasons are absolutely amazing, and then afterwards it goes down quite a bit, but like the message and like the theatrical aspects of it are still there, which are incredibly impactful and amazingly well told in this story, even though it might just be a basic Netflix series that came out, and it might be milking from its previous movies and milking the success of it, like we see with the new Star Wars. Yeah, screw that shit, right? But this one actually does it really well, and that's definitely something to think about.